Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 2. Where is my groom? And the cousin's been emailing me, Cousin Janice, you have got to hurry up and get to Nikki and Sean's wedding. And they sent me the clips. And I said, I knew it. I knew Nikki was not going to be interested in Sean. I just knew it. I knew it just from reading about her, the look on her face. I already knew she was not going to be interested in him, and it just upsets me that the experts played her, fake experts, as they usually do on Married at First Sight. Remember how they did Merla? Huh? Remember how Merla was making $200,000? They matched him with a man who's trying to figure out his life at 40, making $28,000 a year. I knew it. I knew they were going to play her. Okay. But let's catch up before we get to her. Let's talk about everything else that happens before we get to Sean and Nikki's wedding. Of course, people are still hating on Adam. Now they're calling him a psycho. They put up a picture in the Facebook groups and say, this is Adam, the psycho. Show me your man, girl. Show me your man. Again, women are just not used to men being clear about what they want. Say, I want this, I want that. I don't like this, I don't like that. And I just think that women don't like to be rejected, or they don't like to not be the one, or they don't like to not being able to fit into what a man wants. And so if you're not what he wants, he's a psycho and he's a narcissist and he's too rigid. Absolutely not. Someone even commented, I can't believe he's your favorite husband. Out of Felipe, Mecca, and Adam. Of course, Adam is my favorite husband. Who's your favorite husband? Mecca, I'm assuming, okay? Mecca would be I told her, who? Mecca should be my favorite husband out of Adam, Mecca, and Felipe. Girl, bye. So far, I'm on episode 2, and I love Adam. Adam is my type of man. I'm like that. I am very rigid in what I want, and if he don't fit in, bye, because you will not make my life miserable. And I think this is the reason why there's a lot of couples getting divorced, because you kind of get married and then you kind of learn something about the person. You don't really like that. Okay. And I'm like, you should have asked those questions before you got married. You should have walked away if he's not it. Okay. And it's interesting. It's interesting going to see what's going to happen with Adam and Marissa. But so far on at the end of episode 1, yes, out of Adam, Felipe, and Mecca, yes, Adam is my favorite husband so far. Out of those 3, there is no way Mecca could be my favorite husband. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let's hurry if we could get to Sean and Nikki today, honey. Because those clips y'all sent me, I was like, I knew it. I feel so sorry for her. My heart goes out to Nikki. But that's what the experts do, girl. They give you the opposite of what you asked for. Okay. So we pick up with Adam and Marissa at the altar, and basically they met 2 years ago. He went up to her and said, you know, you're beautiful. They exchanged numbers, and they weren't able to, they were too busy to meet up. So, I mean, could this be fate, Fate? We don't know. We shall see. I just don't think they are a good match. So Marissa starts off by saying, I was raised by a strong woman. Okay. Adam said it's important that we're vibing. I love that. Vibing. When you have compatibilities with someone, you vibe. Okay. I don't like the word, but you kind of, easy going, and it's not a lot of pressure and it's not a lot of stress. I love efficient, use partial of the original vowels. You know, if you know me, I love those old vowels. And I now one thing I disagree with a lot of people is I don't think Adam is good looking. I think he's just okay. Maybe it's because I think maybe he needs to shave. I like a clean cut, man. I don't mind a little goatee. I love goatees. This is why my husband always have a goatee. I love a nice goatee, but I just maybe because I don't think Adam is good looking. I think he's just okay. He's really nice, well spoken. I love that. So after the and I don't like his suit. I don't like his suit, and I don't like Marissa's dress. Okay, I don't like it. Marissa's dress looks just like a plain white cake, waiting for decorations. So they got married. They walked down the aisle. They sat down, and they're talking about their gifts. And he said, "I was afraid I was going to overwhelm you." And she, I don't know what the red thing is. I think it's for some water sports. And he talked about he was concerned about the notebook where he said about reading. Now, this is a hypocritical thing about black people in the Facebook groups talking about, oh my God, he talked about read. Black people don't read, okay? Come on, hello. Hello. If you want to hide something from black people, do what? Put it in a book. So I was just kind of surprised at the number of people who is going at Adam because he really is not a reader or he won't read all weekend, as if, of course, I'm in most black groups, as if most black people read. If you're going to read all week, he says, I know some people who read all week. That's me. There's some people who love to read. Marissa's obviously one of those people. I'm one of those people. But most people in general are not readers. And definitely most black people are not readers. So I don't know what the black people in the Facebook groups going on and on and on about Adam not read, as if y'all read. So there are people who are readers, as me and my husband and Marissa. And then there's just people who just, they don't read or they're not going to read a book. And I'm okay with Adam for Marissa not being a reader. Not like Marissa is a reader. Then she thought about, did you take the shot? And he was like, I don't drink. And she was like, because you know she's a fish. She drinks like a fish. And I think that's going to be a problem. As I've talked about before, they match someone who drinks excessively with someone who doesn't drink at all. And yesterday he said, you know, instead of being drunk and hung over, I could be working on the ability to retire at 40. There's nothing wrong with retiring at 40. I listen to, and I'm in a lot of early retirement communities, and there are some people who retire at 40. Black people try it. Okay, try it. I'm 48 and I'm getting ready to retire soon. I didn't say when. I said soon. Okay. So Marissa's just shocked that Adam doesn't drink. Now I want to know more stories about the drinking. Do you not even have a glass of wine? I want to understand a little bit more about that. Okay. So then they're talking about Marissa asked, well, what did your family think? And he's like, my parents are not here. My mom is in Iceland and the dad is in hiking. So I know a lot of people think this is a red flag. I don't necessarily think this is a red flag. Okay. Obviously, Adam comes from a more established family where if he's 40, his parents are retired and enjoying their retirement, traveling all over the world. That's what a lot of people who retire early do. They travel all over the world. So this is not a meeting a woman, meeting the parents, getting engaged, and planning a wedding so the parents can be there. This is, oh, I want married at first sight, and you're going to be getting married, okay? So I don't think that's a real issue. Or and his family can be deeply religious where they think that this is taking marriage too lightly, and they don't want to be a part of it. I want to learn more about Adam and his family. It's going to be interesting. I want to know more about them. Also, I don't think it's a red flag with Adam calling the woman. What is wrong with y'all? They went on 5 dates, Adam and the girl. Oh, he was stringing her along. No, they went on 5 dates, dum-dums. 5 dates. I went on 5 dates with my husband in like a week and a half. 5 dates. He's not stringing her along. He's dating. Again, show me your man. That's going to be my phrase. This, show me your man. And see, he was stringing her along. It's 5 dates. They went out 5 times. Okay, and show me your man. That's the problem with y'all women. Y'all go out with a man on one date and you think y'all is married. No, he's dating. Dating is about data. Oh, and woo, people be getting on my nerve. That's why I be staying out the groups. That's why I don't matter if I don't go in, because the women, they're just so stupid. I'm like, what? They're dating. It's about data. You're supposed to date more than one person. Okay, he went out with her on 5 dates, and doesn't mean he's stringing her along. Anyways, we go over to Felipe and Tori's wedding reception. And of course, Felipe is just flopping his lips. And he said he was nervous about meeting her. Ooh, I'm looking at Tori. She did a lot of work. I mean, she looks like a duck, okay? She did a lot of work. So her sister gave words and said, please take care of her. Felipe, best man, gave words. And I love that he had a piece of paper reading, because all these just saying stuff is just getting on my nerves. And then his sister got up and said, you can tolerate his dance and his laugh, it will work. She's not going to be able to tolerate. I don't know why. Oh my God. Hasn't somebody told Felipe about his laugh? I just want to know what Tori thinks. I feel like she's been nice for the cameras, and there is no way you like Felipe. There is no way Tori likes Felipe, because she did so much surgery to fix her face that there is just no way she's going to like Felipe in the long run. Even though based on what they said in episode 1, they sound like it's a match, but I don't know if she'll be able to deal with him and that laugh of his, because I cannot. Okay. So then we go over to BelléJolie, and the daddy is harassing her. I cannot deal with Mecca's daddy. So then he goes on to say, oh, I'm a principal, so I score things. And I was like, those poor children. Can you imagine if they all turn out like Mecca? So then he's asking her on a scale from 1 to 10, like how much? And she's like a 9. And I'm like, that's because of how she was raised. I don't expect anything. I don't expect anything from BelléJolie. Shout out to my favorite cousin Kimberly. Cousin Kimberly commented that, like, BelléJolie has 3 jobs. So for her to not be concerned about Mecca's income is concerning, or where he works. It's like, you're struggling. Do you also want a man who is struggling, BelléJolie? But anyways, we'll talk about that when they get to the money part. Okay. So then he goes over to Mecca and he's talking to his friend. Obviously, Mecca and Felipe has the same mindset with where they think they're hot. Now, I'll give Mecca, he's decent looking. As far as look Mecca and Felipe, yes, Mecca knocked it out of the park. Felipe, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I also think that Mecca thinks he's all of that, and he's not. And he's concerned about, the kiss, and she gave me that. He's so concerned about, well, maybe she don't like me. And I'm like, some men do not think it's possibly that the woman don't like you or don't interested, which is where I got master explanation in my book 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet, because they think they are like so everything a woman could want, and they don't understand why you wouldn't be interested. Okay, so he's talking about how we're gonna share sweet tonight, and what should happen, and his friends are like, don't have any expectations. And I love that. I love that, right? That's what they say. Just don't have any expectations. And you going in the room, expect you gonna be getting some booty. I don't know. Obviously, Mecca is thinking more highly of himself than he should. Licking his lips with them ashy legs. It's a no for me, Mecca. No. Okay. So then we go over to the experts, and they're matching Nick and Courtney. And can I just say, I love Courtney because she said, I want a conservative, even though I'm not married to a conservative. I absolutely love that. I thought it was interesting that she said, even though she's a bodybuilder, she doesn't want a bodybuilder because they're egotistical. And I was like, yeah, I can see that, because I ran track, and I didn't like men who ran track, because I don't like track bodies on guys. I just prefer guys that has a normal, regular body. So I thought that was interesting. Her parents did bodybuilding, and so did she, and she didn't want a bodybuilder. Okay, so Nick went to MIT. Smart, I love smart men. And Courtney also says, I want somebody who still drinks. And I don't think she means get drunk, though, because delusional Christians who don't read and study their Bible, the Bible never said don't drink. It says do not be drunken with wine. In other words, don't drink to the point that you are drunk, where you can't think and your mind is not clear. And you women, drink it to the point that you do not have control over your body or what somebody's doing to you. Trusting these men to protect you. I was just telling somebody this week. You're drinking to the point that you don't know what's going on with your body. And you're trusting the strange man you went out with to protect you. I don't know when the light's going to come on. When is the light going to come on to the point that okay, I don't need to drink to the point that I don't know what's going on with my body or somebody's hurting me. Okay? A couple of girls get ready to go to college. I was talking to them. Okay? You shouldn't be drinking anyway, but we know you're going to do it. But girl, don't drink to the point that you don't have control over what somebody is doing to your body. And yes, I know there are rapists. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you're going out, you're drinking, and then you wake up with a strange man in the bed and you don't know what happened. Don't do that. Okay. She says, I want somebody who still drinks, and I don't want somebody to go to church every Sunday. So that means she's a church goer, okay? Because born again believers, we go to church every Sunday, with the exception of, you're on vacation, or sometimes the kids are tired. I know sometimes when when we have something Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm like, oh, they're tired. Maybe we should skip church today, but then we'll go back next Sunday, okay? He also said he went to MIT. I love a smart man. He plays lacrosse, and he's a conservative. I love a conservative man, and he doesn't want somebody to make him go to church every Sunday. Courtney also says, I don't want somebody that's going to make me wear a turtleneck. Me too, girl. I wouldn't have married him. So far, just based on those things, I like Courtney and Nick so far. Okay. Just based on what they see. Okay. Courtney also says, which is where I am, is a woman's right to choose. I will live on that mountain for the rest of my life. That a woman has a right to choose whatever happens she does with her own body. I am pro-choice, and I also believe that God is pro-choice. To me, what pro-choice means, to me, to Janice, when I say I am pro-choice, choice means you get to choose. You either get to choose to keep the baby or choose to flush the baby down the toilet. And because God says, I put before you life and death, choose. Choose. And then he said, choose life. Okay. So God is actually telling the people to choose life. Okay. Y'all know I got pregnant 16 and I was given the choice to flush the baby down the toilet or have the baby. And I chose to have Lexi. Lexi's going to be 32 years old. Lexi's going to be 32 next month. Okay. That and Courtney said, and she also said she doesn't understand why people are not conservative based on economical. You talking, Courtney? You talking over people's heads, baby. You're talking over married at first sight people's heads, child. They don't understand. But anyways, so then the producer says, "Can you give us an example of where you're more liberal or you're more conservative?" And he's like, uh, uh, and I'm like, are you saying this just because you're saying this? Nick, do you even know what you're talking about? But for a man to say he's conservative, I absolutely love it. So far, I like Nick. So we shall see how they do. So then we go over to Paul and Courtney, and Paul says, how conservative or are you because there are arranged? I appreciate Paul saying that because they're arranged to conservatism. And she said, well, give me something that you're thinking about. And he says January 6th. And she said, can you remind me again what happened on January 6th? And he's like, oh, okay, well, that's helpful. What y'all think that means? I need to know more about what Courtney's thinking. What y'all think that means? Nick has never cheated. Courtney's been cheated on. And she's devastated about that. And she's at the point where she doesn't want a guy to leave. And this is why I'm against boyfriends and girlfriends. Because when you are to me, unless you are engaged, a commitment, or married, I think people should be free to do whatever they want to do. And this is why I do not believe in boyfriends and girlfriends. I'm wondering if Courtney's fear of being cheated on or left is going to affect how she is in the marriage. I think it will. I'm wondering, will she put up with and deal with stuff because she don't want Nick to leave? It's going to be interesting to see. Okay. It's interesting to see. So Nick talks about he's been on a couple of game shows and he's wondering, are people want to date him? Women want to date him because they want to date this guy that's been on TV. But he said, he really wants love. He doesn't have an agent. He works in tech. He has a 9-to-5, and he really wants love. He's been in love before, and he misses that feeling, and that he really wants a wife. How old was Nick again? Mm. Okay, Nick is 31, Courtney is 28. I think based on what we've learned so far, Nick and Courtney is a match. Woo! So far, so far, so far. Felipe and Felipe and Tori, they are a match in what they want and who they like, but I just don't think Tori's going to be able to put up with and deal with Felipe. Okay. Mecca and Jolie, BelléJolie. Struggle love. Struggle love. Marissa, I wish BelléJolie wanted more for herself. That's what I wish. I wish BelléJolie would want more for herself. Okay, but you know she struggles. Her life is struggling, and she don't know anything outside of struggling. So she thinks she should struggle with a man. Marissa and Adam, I do not think they are a match. Courtney and Nick, so far, episode 2, 15-minute mark. Courtney and Nick, fingers crossed for them based on what they say they want so far. I do believe that Courtney looks a little older than 28. Like she actually looks like 48. And I'm saying this as a 48-year-old woman. But you know what they say about black? Black don't crack. So maybe that's it. But so far, I am loving Nick, and Courtney is a go for me. So the experts are talking about Nick and Courtney, and they have all good things to say about Nick. Paul said he's been in a couple of shows, about 4 or 5. And Dr. Lisa said, yet he's a good guy. He comes from a good family. His role models, okay, that's important. His role models in his life are good. He makes a good income, of course. Men in tech makes a good income. Paul said they align religiously, politically, and they like him, and I like him too. So Nick and Courtney is number 1 for me as far as a couple who can make it to the end if he's serious, and if Courtney feels as if she deserves to be loved and adored and provided for and protected. So we shall see. And so far, out of all the husbands, I think Nick is the best dressed. Okay, I love his talks. I love, me personally, I love traditionalism. I love the black talks and the bow tie. My husband did not wear a bow tie. Okay, I am still upset about it 13 and a half years later. Okay, my husband wore a gold tie, and he wore a gold tie because he said at his events, my husband does a lot of black tie events, and he has to wear a black tie. And so he says for his wedding, he didn't want to wear a black tie because okay, so far Nick and Courtney, number 1 for me, and I love Nick's talks. I think he's really, really handsome. I actually like the beard on Nick, and I guess because it's kind of low cut and it's even. Okay, it's not patchy. Okay, number 1, Nick and Courtney for me. Tell me what y'all think about Nick and Courtney. So Nick is sitting around talking to his groommates, and they're asking, "What if she recognized you for this from other shows?" And he's like, "Well, I would prefer that she doesn't." They say, "Well, what if one of her friends recognize you?" Well, you might be recognizable, Nick. You've been on like 4 or 5 reality shows. So now I'm kind of thinking, Nick, are you really serious about getting married, or is this another show for you? I hope you're serious about getting married, because it just sounds like you and Courtney so far, you guys are a match. I love and appreciate that he had a group of friends that's been with him on a couple of the reality shows. And they're basically saying that they are really ready for him to get married and to settle down. Then they brought up the dad. Have you prepared something to say to the dad? See, conservatism, okay? The respectable thing to do is to go to a young woman's dad and ask her hand in marriage. Of course, he can't do this right now because this is a reality show. But that did happen. Was it last season or the season before, where a young man, after he married the girl, I don't remember who, help me out in the comments, went to the dad after and asked her hand in marriage, and I thought that was absolutely wonderful. I love it. Okay. So then we go over to Courtney, and she comes out in a bedspread. Okay. My grandmother's white sheet that she used to beat. I'm 48. Hello. I'm 48 years old. And starch. Okay. Remember those sheets? And starch and hang it up on the line. That was Courtney's dress. I don't like it. I don't like the dress. I don't like it. I do not like Courtney's dress, but I definitely like it better than Marissa's dress. Okay, I like it better. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know, Nick. Now I'm starting to think different about you. Are you really serious about getting married? Courtney says she feels like a princess and she feels like a whole ass bride. We go back over to Nick, and he's over there. His dad comes in. His dad is very proud of him. And he said, I think you'll make a great husband. You're very hardworking. And I love that. I love when fathers encourage their sons and not try to take all the attention. Lex? All the attention from their sons. Hello, logic. Courtney gets Nick gets really emotional. I don't mind a young man getting emotional. Courtney shows up at the wedding. I must say Courtney's makeup is phenomenal. They got new people doing makeups this year, and her makeup is beautiful. So we get to the wedding venue. Nick comes out. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go over and talk to the parents, unless we didn't see that, the mom. Courtney's dad is talking to her. He does look like a bodybuilder. And then Courtney mom walk out with the bobblehead. She's this little and her head is this big. Courtney says her fear when she meets her husband is that he will not stay. Courtney, you're going to have to go to counseling, girl. You're going to have to go to counseling. I could understand if it was your daddy that left, but it's men who have left you, Courtney, and you're just so... 12 to 1. Show daddy the paper. Go show daddy the paper, please. Yeah, Courtney needs counseling. Courtney, Mecca, they all need to go to counseling. They really need to go to... if it was Courtney's daddy who left, I would be like, well, she needs some... But no, it's a boyfriend, girl. See, this is why I don't believe in boyfriends. Because y'all have boyfriends that think he's your husband, and then when his stuff don't work out, you're just traumatized and messed up forever. See, just don't have boyfriends and girlfriends. Y'all, after the vows, I'm having second thoughts. I'm having second thoughts about Nick and Courtney. Courtney is going all in. This is why you shouldn't be rambling on at the altar. Let's just have a script that we stick to. And they both were rambling on. And I'm in it. I believe in fate. And hopefully fate is in front of me. Hopefully we spend the rest of our lives together. And he's like, same. I feel like the officiant messed up because he pronounced them husband and wife. Aren't you supposed to say... Okay, I gotta pay attention next time. They're going in for a kiss, and the officiant is like, Nick, you may now kiss your bride. And then he said, she said to go for it. And I'm like, no, Adam. No, don't blame your wife, Adam. No, don't blame your wife, Adam. I don't know now. I don't know. I feel like Courtney's all in. Okay, let's see. I feel like Courtney's all in, and usually the women who go all in on day one, it don't really work out for them. What y'all think? Tell me. But I will say Courtney's my type of girl. Yes, I love me, Courtney. I love her. I love her. She was like, he looks good. He said the couples did great. And then they're talking, and she said, what do you do? Yes, girl. Yes. Yes. You could tell. Uh-huh. You could tell the girls who didn't come from struggle homes, aka BelléJolie. Uh-huh. So he said he went to MIT, he played lacrosse, he's a manager and basketball. She's like, I just quit basketball. And she was like, whoa, you're smart. And I'm like, yeah, Nick is a smart guy. So hopefully this is it, Courtney. Do not mess it up, okay? Do not mess it up with you being psychotic about him leaving. Oh my gosh. Just don't mess it up. Shut up. You're talking too much, right? So she works for Oracle. Didn't they just lay off like thousands of people from Oracle? Because I listen to a lot of retirement videos all day. Courtney, you talking too much. Oh, what did I? Where did it? What did you say? What did you say? And you could tell Nick is looking at the producers because Nick is trying to get a word in and Courtney is not letting him jump in. And I'm like, Courtney, shut your mouth. Shut up. You're talking too much. Courtney's talking too much. I'm scared for you, girl. You're going to talk that man to death. You know they can't take all of that at one time. You got to give him space. Courtney's talking too much. No, ma'am. Shut your mouth. So then it cuts over to Nick one-on-one, and he's talking about how she's pretty and she did great. He had a lot of anxiety and she handled it well. And the producers asked, are you attracted to your wife? And he said, I'm attracted to my wife. He's not attracted to her. Nick is not attracted to Courtney, and no, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. 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 This poor girl. My heart goes out to her. He's not attracted. He's not attracted to her. He's not attracted to her. I had such high hopes for them. I had high hopes. I'm disappointed now. I'm disappointed, but anyways, that's gonna be it. I ran out of time. I love you. Let me know what you think about Nick and Courtney. Do you think they're a match? Mm. Mm. All right. Well, we shall see what happened with them. I absolutely love you. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this. I'll be in the comments today, and I'll try to do the other part of this tomorrow or tonight, or I don't know, girl. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up. The husband profile begins in September. If you want to take the husband profile course, the link is below. Let me know what you think. Bye.